We found the world's most famous elephant in a Tuk Tuk. We're Tuk South, an adventure travel film crew trying to be the first people to drive Tuk Tuks from the Equator to Cape Town. Why? To raise money for wildlife rangers and tell cool stories along the way. After setting off from Nanyuki a week ago, it was becoming clear that this was not going to be easy. Roads were scary.
Get him, camels! As this is a very, very dangerous road.
And tuk-tuks aren't very good off-road. Who knew? But after a bit of pushing and a lot of help, we arrived at Choose. The tuk-tuks were finally free to roam the plains of Africa and be one with the wildebeest. This lasted for about 15 minutes, then we fell in a hole.
A big hole. Big hole.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I was going to stop. Hangers in the car.
After getting Princess Buttercup out of the hole, we had to take her sun plate off and do some very delicate adjustments.
We fell into a hole and our sun plate has come compacted to the engine. So we're having to take it off and bang it out to unbend it. The last bolt holding the sun plate on is a number 8, and we do not have a number 8 spanner.
We have a number 8 spanner, just don't have to.
We don't have 2 number 8 spanners. Oh. That was very close to landing on your penis, Jasper.
Yep.
Whilst we were stranded in the middle of nowhere, a huge storm decided to show up. Of course.
Where are they?
I'm blind.
Why are you so much dirtier than I
Whoa, my teeth look so white there.
Look at your eyebrows!
There's a storm coming.
This is a lightning storm and we're stood under a metal tuk-tuk. The entirety of Tuk South might be about to die. Let's run, shall we run under a tree? Let's leave, let's abandon them. Very bad things happen to young people.
What are you doing? What are you son? You're just dirtying my jerry can.
I mean, it was empty and we needed to push
I thought it never rained here.
It hasn't rained for months.
It was chaos, but we made the most of it, catching just enough rainwater for a few cups of tea.
This sums up Tuk South.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Delicious.
When everything calmed down, we found a spot to camp for the night and reflected on why we were here. What brought Tuk South to these wild lands below Kilimanjaro?
Wow!
We were here to meet the legendary rangers of Big Life. You see, this land is special. It's ruled by giants. Now, elephants are magical beings, but they can be difficult neighbors. It's hard to explain to something that weighs 5 tons that a field of delicious cabbages isn't for them. Some elephants love crops so much that they become professional crop raiders, specialists in breaking onto farms and having a feast. In the past, farmers had 2 options: run away or fight the elephant. I know which one I'd have chosen. If they run away, they can lose their livelihoods, but if they fight, both parties could lose their lives. And this is where Big Life comes in. Their wildlife rangers give people someone to call should they get invaded by a 4-ton crop raider. The next morning, our tuk-tuks arrived at the Kamana Sanctuary main gate, and we met the heroes, helping the wild stay wild. Jonathan, one of the lead rangers, told us to set up camp and wait until the rangers got a call out. It did not take long.
We're going on patrol.
No, we're going elephant hunting.
An elephant had broken into a Maasai community nearby, and we were called into action. It turned out that a group of young, naughty bull elephants had gotten into a farmer's field, stuffed their face with crops, and were now hiding in a nearby forest. The rangers used their cars and warning shots to try and push the elephants back into the wild and away from danger. It was a surreal experience, being on foot holding a camera next to a guy with a shotgun, playing hide and seek with a 4-ton elephant, somewhere in the bushes. The African bush is not an easy environment to contend with. But after 3 or 4 hours, the rangers managed to maneuver the group of elephants back into the wild, with their bellies full of cabbages. We were lucky enough to spend 2 weeks filming with the rangers of Big Life, documenting the important and sometimes dangerous work they were carrying out for conservation. But after an incredible fortnight, the time came for us to carry on our journey and head into Tanzania. The sun was setting on our final day in Kamana Sanctuary when one of the Big Life rangers comes sprinting over and says, "Boys, the biggest tusker in East Africa just entered the park. It's Craig." We threw our cups of tea to the floor and all jumped into Sports Tuk. The rain had made the roads muddy, but we knew if we could make it onto the grassy plains, we had a chance of finding him. Craig is probably the most famous elephant in the world. He's a super tusker, with teeth weighing over 100 pounds each. And he's not just an elephant, he's a symbol for conservation. The genetics that produce a super tusker like Craig were almost wiped out in the 20th century, as the booming ivory trade sent bullets ripping through Africa's elephants. And the bigger the elephant's tusks, the larger the bounty placed on its head. Through unnatural selection, elephants with big tusks were plucked from the gene pool and turned into piano keys. And today, as I make this video, there are only 20 super tuskers left, and Craig is the king of all of them. One super tusker to rule them all, and let the tusks bind them. And that was why we sacrificed our tea. Craig's very existence was a huge victory for conservation. We bounced and scraped our way through the bushes, cursing the sun that threatened to set behind Kilimanjaro, and praying to the Tuk Tuk gods that we didn't break down. But at the very peak of the golden hour, boom, there he was. The coolest living thing I have ever seen. Wow, that is an axe. Is that the biggest elephant in the world?
I think so. Apparently he's very chill, is what everyone says about him. Oh, yeah. A bit scary. Get out of their way. I think we get slightly out of his way.
He was like a messiah elephant. He even had followers. When young bull elephants leave their mum's herd, they will often look for older bull elephants to follow and learn from, like an apprenticeship or a mentor. And if they can find one like Craig, they will follow him and learn from him. Like Elephant Yoda, but huge. And if you take out the old bulls, like Craig, the young bulls could go crazy, attacking people and animals. There was one case in South Africa where a group of young bulls without a father figure went on a rampage, killing over 50 rhinos. Elephants are no joke. They can kill you.
Did he open it? Pen?
But even though we were just in a tuk-tuk and couldn't escape if we wanted to, we felt completely safe. Any of those elephants had the capability to run over and throw our tuk-tuk around like a tin can. But they didn't, because having a leader like Craig, who's wise and calm, causes all of them to be wise and calm. We were lucky enough to spend the last hour of daylight following Craig around like one of his disciples. There were no other tourists or vehicles, just Craig and a bunch of young males watching him. Some elephant, some human. It was one of the coolest experiences of my life, and Tuk South will never forget their time with Craig. This story was from the first leg of Tuk South's Africa trip, and the story's not over. It's time for a new challenge. As I film this, the Tuk Tuks are on a boat about to arrive in South America, and the next adventure begins. Tuk South America.